Hi, I'm Lanisha Robinson, your host for Career and Technical Education. Hashtag Build a Future. Our goal is to show a variety of the career and technical education CTE programs we have within St. Lucie Public Schools. These programs are leading the way directly into the workforce for many of our students. Students are earning industry certifications, participating in state and national competitions from the skills learned directly from their CTE classroom. We at St. Lucie Public Schools take pride in knowing our CTE students are actively closing the skills gap needed in our community. In this episode of Career and Technical Education, hashtag Build a Future, you will meet Miss Maggie Choppa from Treasure Coast High School and learn how these students are getting the leading edge in international business. So welcome to our show. All right, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jenna. I'm a student in the International Business Academy.
And I'm Maggie Choppa. I'm the International Business Academy teacher at Treasure Coast High School.
Okay, so Ms. Choppa, please tell us your educational background.
My educational background, I have a degree in hotel sales and management, a business administration degree from Bay Path College, both of those, a educational degree. I have graduate school from the College of St. Rose, and then my master's in special education from the College of St. Joseph. Then I have my ed specialist degree in ed leadership from Nova University, and doctoral degree. My EDD is in process for organizational leadership at Nova as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So can you tell us, what was your background coming from the industry or the workforce? Like, what are you bringing to the classroom? Because we know you have a lot that you're bringing.
So I'm originally from New York, and I went into the hotel sales arena when I first got out of college, and then from there I transferred all of that to working in the Greek Isles on cruise ships and throughout the Mediterranean, and then working in Europe. From there I've lived in Hawaii, Atlanta, in the hotel industry, as well as then getting into the financial realm and working for companies like Fleet Bank in New York and Wells Fargo. So as I was doing these great experiences that I've had, I've realized that many young people didn't have the appropriate skills, even the basic etiquettes, to conduct business, basic business. My mother was a business teacher, so it kind of came second nature to me to have these types of traits. So I decided I was going to go into the educational arena, and one of the first things that they actually said to me is, well, what kind of educator do you want to be? And I said, what kind of educators are there? And they said, well, you can go into special education or regular education. And I said, well, what's the difference? Well, in special education, they're individualized, and in regular education, it's just regular. And I said, doesn't every kid deserve a special education? So I think that really sets the basis for me and the ground rules for how I want to be in a classroom as a teacher, with all of my students having individualized plans for their future, because their traits and their passions and interests are all individualized.
Okay. So how long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher. This is my 17th year.
Okay. And then coming from that, because I know you have different areas, you're at the high school now, but were you another classroom teacher?
In the beginning, I taught preschool special education. I've taught second grade. I've taught life skills and with transitional students, students on parole. When I first moved to Florida, I taught 5th grade at Wimmo Point Elementary School with tremendous leadership team with Mrs. Bernadette Floyd and Linda Medica, and they were fabulous. And then I transitioned over to Treasure Coast High School to teach international business.
Okay, so coming from the business world to now to a teacher, so what do you do to stay current in the field?
There are so many different things that we do. The first thing we do is we get ourselves out and immerse ourselves within the business community. So my students will go to trade shows, they'll go to volunteer events, they network, they'll go to the chamber and present. They're involved in a variety of different areas within the community. So they go and they bring in whatever's happening in our local community. On a national level, I'm a member of a multitude of organizations, and on an international level, I bring students to various places in Europe, and we take field trips, and we do entrepreneur seminars and workshops, even when we're studying and being abroad. So. There's a lot of different ways we do it.
Okay, good. So Jenna, have you participated in any of these with the Chamber of Commerce tours or any of those presentations? Have you had participation in those?
Yes, actually I've spent time doing most of them. One of the things I did was BizCom last year, which is a business breakfast between the community and the school. I was part of setting it up, and we've gone to Club Med and the Hilton Hotel as part of a hospitality trip. And just a multitude of trips that I've been able to experience because of being in the International Business Academy. And knowing that these skills will help me in the future is why I go.
Mm-hmm. So why is it important for students to learn about international business at the high school level and not wait until college or once they graduate from high school? Why is that important?
College is too late, first of all. You have to understand your cultural competencies, and the future leaders are going to have cultural competencies. They're going to understand their market, their target markets, their customers. They're also going to understand the employees. And so understanding employees through that cultural competency is going to be extremely important for the leaders of tomorrow. So high school is probably a little too old for them. We really need to start students understanding who they are and understanding and valuing their differences at a really young age. And so, I opt in for younger back, way down in elementary school. I think it would be an ideal place to actually start international business understanding and cultural competency understanding so they can proceed into the paths that they want to and understand their differences and bring their passions and likes into the business arena to be future leaders.
Okay. So in a nutshell, you've kind of mentioned as well soft skills. Can you explain why teach soft skills at the high school level? Why not wait until after college?
I think that goes back to the same reason. Soft skills are, everything from etiquette, communication, teamwork, problem solving, conflict resolution, all of the things that teachers need to bring into their classrooms. And so if they're just doing it when they get to college, they've missed so many people because not everybody goes to college. And so when those people are going straight into the workforce, that's relevant information. And majority of companies would rather teach their employees that technological aspect or that knowledge, but you can't really teach those soft skills once students are or once new employees are in your establishment. So they have to come in with those, and those that have those soft skills, they're going to be the ones that are going to be promoted. They're going to be the ones that can communicate in teams and be those inspirational and motivating leaders.
Okay. And I know to do all that, it takes lesson planning. It takes you actually planning
Right.
out what exactly I'm going to do in the classroom. So which leads us to the next question I have for you all is, what if I were to come into your classroom just one day, what would I see your students doing in class?
You would actually not even recognize me in there because majority of the time the students are leading it, they're presenting, they're having discussions, they're facilitating discussions, they're doing the group work, and then they'll all get together and reconvene, and the respect that they have for each other and the ability to take a topic, research it all together is essential, but it's so imperative for them to respect each other in the classroom, be able to communicate, and then provide constructive feedback and constructive criticism where they help each other grow. And I think in high school, being that that's such a time where people are actually afraid to be a little different, in the international business classroom, they celebrate their differences and everybody else's differences from day one. And it's clearly apparent when you come into my room.
Okay. So Jenna, can you give me a student perspective on what we will see in the classroom?
Every day is different. You never know when you walk into that classroom what you're going to talk about. It could be current events, it could be financial information for college, it could be a guest speaker. We truly don't know what's going to go on that day, but it's always engaging. It's always good to know information. You need to know this information, whether it is current events, because you're going to be out in that world in a year or two and you're not going to know what's going on. So she's always good about keeping up with what you should know when you go out into the world.
Okay. Well, thank you. So, Ms. Choppa, can you tell me, to complete the program, to complete international business, what kind of course will a student need to take?
So 10th grade, they take international business, the class. Then they have in their junior year accounting, and then senior year is international finance and law. So those are the 3 classes.
Okay. Do you all do any field trips to get their students outside the classroom?
We have field trips based upon, the seniors actually will plan their field trips, so based upon the students' interests and passions and what they actually want to do is going to be where our local field trips are going to be. So as Jenna said, like Club Med, last year we did a bunch of hospitality things because, a bunch of hospitality field trips because there was such a high interest in hospitality and customer service aspect. And so we've done field trips to Orlando, and again, we go international. So it really just depends on the interest of the students because they're the ones that help plan the field trips.
Okay. So, Jenna, what was your favorite field trip that you've taken?
Well, I always enjoy going to state competition for Future Business Leaders of America, but the most special field trip I think I went on was the national conference for FBLA. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I was able to go to. It was in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'd never gone there, and just seeing how many business kids and seeing everybody in their business suits walking down the street, it was once in a lifetime.
Okay. Now, you mentioned FBLA, all right? What exactly is FBLA?
FBLA stands for Future Business Leaders of America. It's a chance for the students like myself to be involved in the community and be involved with truly business partners. And a lot of people don't get to be out in the community and be out learning about how a business truly runs. They're always in the classroom. So FBLA is another chance for us to be part of something else other than just the 4 walls of a school.
Okay, good. Do you want to add to anything?
Future Business Leaders of America is the largest student organization within the United States. So students from the International Business Academy, it's part of our curriculum, so I helped write the curriculum for the International Business Program for the state of Florida, and we incorporate that as the leadership aspect of business. So students are able to therefore get scholarships, which is huge as seniors are applying for college. And so just being a member, you know, schools will look at that and say, they're doing something a little bit different than a regular traditional student classroom. We happen to be the only FBLA organization in St. Lucie County. So when we do competitions like Jenna mentioned about going to state competition in Orlando or nationals, that we have to therefore do our regional competitions obviously outside, and so we compete south and north and all over. Last year I think we did bring 11 students to state competition, and this year we're bringing 10. So they've made it all the way through, and hopefully they'll make it to nationals again this year, so that's great.
Wow, good luck with that. Can you also tell us, okay, in the past, you know, before this year, what kind of awards or scholarships did you all earn in international business through FBLA?
So through FBLA, the scholarships are enormous. I mean, last year, just in the International Business Academy itself, we had $2.1 million worth of scholarships. To date, we have $1.3 million in that vicinity, and it's January. So FBLA members, automatically people, you know, colleges are going to pick them and say, oh, look at that. There's a business and a leader that we want on our campus. So some kids are getting free rides. Some kids are getting $20,000. Some kids are getting $18,000. It just matters, you know, whether you're an officer, what have you done, how many years have you been in, what colleges you're applying to. So again, being that it's the largest student organization, everybody knows about FBLA.
Wow. Okay. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes. Can you also, okay, so one of the things I also want to kind of take a step back and also enlighten our audience is on, excuse me, is on the topic of articulation agreements, all right? What exactly are articulation agreements? I know you did mention that some of your students earn college scholarships.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So what exactly is articulation agreements?
So the articulation agreement that we have is with Indian River State College, and therefore with that, students are able to not only get high school credit, but they're also able to get college credit. So when they get through my 3 classes, they are able to transfer that international business class to an intro to business class. They're able to transfer my accounting 1 into financial accounting 1. They're able to transfer that international finance and law into an into a business law class. So students can actually walk away after graduating from high school with 9 college credits without ever putting their foot in a college classroom or leaving Treasure Coast campus. And then on top of that, the industry certifications that I expose them to, that they all have opportunities to achieve, they also have college credits as well. So as the students put it, you know, when you take international business, you can almost be 1/3 of the way done with your associate's degree if you do well and you achieve all your certifications. So that's fantastic.
Yes, it is. So you also mentioned industry certifications, all right?
Yes.
What are industry certifications and what do you offer in the classroom?
Industry certifications, I pronounce it to students like this. I introduce it as this. It's the same as you having a driver's license. That's your industry certification, because anybody can say they can drive. Anybody can say they can do QuickBooks. But until you have that certification, you can't, right? So in the business world, everybody believes that they can do Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, but until you have that industry certification, that's what's going to make you A, more money, B, more marketable, and C, get your foot into that door when that interviewer is actually looking for someone who can achieve those skills. And you have proof now. So that's what that industry certification across the board, no matter what that is. But the ones that we offer are extremely relevant to business. So again, QuickBooks, it's huge, and so we're the only school in St. Lucie County that has such a huge success rate with QuickBooks, and students are making, you know, they can go out and be a bookkeeper and be making $18 to $20 an hour just with their QuickBooks certification. And then we offer obviously the mouse certification, which is 3 out of the 4 Microsoft products. So that would be Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, to be certified in those 3, and they can be mouse certified. We also offer Internet Business Associate through CIW, which that platform is saying, I understand the fundamentals of maybe mobile applications and internet and marketing and project management, which is a really great foundation for students in business, actually students in any field, because it's not field specific, and none of those certifications are field specific. So if someone wanted to go into the health care arena, or they wanted to open up their own business, or they wanted to go into the restaurant business, it doesn't matter the focus. It's all going to be essential information that they need to be able to utilize and be effective and efficient to create a positive cash flow.
Okay. So Jenna, are you working on any industry certifications, or have you earned any so far?
I have earned a good amount of certifications, if I do say so myself. I've earned CIW. I've earned a certification called Entrepreneurship and Small Business, QuickBooks, PowerPoint, and I'm currently working on Microsoft Word to complete my mouse certification.
Okay. So do you have any plans on using these certifications in the near future, or what is your current career path once you leave high school?
Well, once I get out of high school, I want to go to college and study hospitality, and then I want to work on a cruise ship. But whatever you do, these certifications will always be helpful if you need to create a flyer through Microsoft Word, or a presentation to sell something you want to sell to a certain company. Excuse me. But especially QuickBooks, if I want to run my own business. In the future, I'd like to run my own business, and saving money on a bookkeeper is something you can do yourself. It's always a good opportunity.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Ms. Choppa, success stories. Can you share with me any students that have graduated from international business and also Choppa Nation? All right, can you explain to us any success stories and any students that you've actually kept up with or have heard from?
Sure. This year, actually, January 3rd, we did our first annual Choppa Nation reunion since I've been there since 2012. And I have students that are extremely successful in their own rights and in society's rights. I have students that two students that work for Ernst Young over in Tampa, and they actually ended up on the same team, and we're like, wow, you're from Choppa Nation, so am I. So that was cool when they sent me that Instagram picture of them together. Some that work at Price Waterhouse. I have multitudes of students that are in New York. Some are working with stock brokerage firms. I have students that are marketing managers for companies. I have a student who just became the community relations manager over at Kaiser University, and she's a brand new graduate, so go Gloria. So like, I have students that are just successful, and I try to keep in touch with all of them, and so that's why we actually, the seniors this year, created this reunion. So we did a like a picnic and a kickball game all at once, so kids can come back and they can network, because again, networking and being able to reach out to those who have the same values and be able to help lead them and build that foundation of whatever companies is going to be essential. So we're doing it on a small level with Choppa Nation students, but it's working, and they came out, and I think about 70 kids came out, and you know, we planned it over like a month period, and that was a fantastic opportunity. So yeah, I have great success stories based on the kids. That's why.
And do you feel like it's a great way for your students to also find ways to network with other students and with past students?
Without a doubt. In fact, and it's a huge inspiration for those juniors and seniors that are looking at these kids who are now 23, 24, 25, 26, who, you know, they might have had some struggles, and when those older kids are coming back, which I invite all my students to come back and speak to the classes starting in 10th grade, so they help each other, and that networking is always going to be essential. Networking is never going to go away. It's never going to get stale. It's just going to be global.
Okay, so you're actually bringing graduates from international business, from your academy, back into your classroom to basically teach the future students who will be graduating, right?
Correct.
So do you bring in any other guest speakers besides them?
We bring in people from banking. We bring in people from stock houses. Last year, actually, we brought in a gentleman who invented a part, who is a multimillionaire, and it's literally the part like picks up telephone poles after hurricanes and devastation. And he came in and told all about his background and how he has now this huge global company and lives in South America and has a house in Korea. And so we bring in people, again, because it's through the students that they're interested in wanting to hear. So they get tired of hearing Ms. Choppa speak, maybe. And so therefore, I think guest speakers, I love to learn. And so I think having that precedent in the classroom where everybody's a learner and constantly learning is essential for that flow of information to be able to be discussed, like Jenna said, but also for different perspectives is really great to share.
So Jenna, if you had a student or a potential student for Charles High School, and they're considering, hey, maybe I want to go into international business, which is what we call Choppa Nation, what would you say to that student?
I would say to give it a try. I know personally that it's not for everybody. I've seen many people come and go from the International Business Academy, but if you want to put in the work and you want to be part of something bigger, then I'd suggest being part of the International Business Academy.
Okay. All right, so thank you. Do you have students that go outside the classroom to do like maybe internships? Do you all do any of that in your classroom?
Yes, I highly recommend that they start doing internships in sophomore year. I really believe that knowing what you don't want to do is 50% of knowing what you want to do. And so there's always those kids that are like, I'm not sure what I want to do. Nobody needs to be sure. Just know what you want as far as what you like being in that environment and you like doing this. Because, and so doing those internships, they realize, I don't want to go do this. And so currently I have students who are doing an internship with the EDC, with Pete Tesh. So I have students who have done internships with like Zaxby's as their marketing assistant manager. I've had students who have created their own business. So I currently have students who have created their own platforms, whether they're websites or whether they're business where they're utilizing other students as employees or volunteers. I have students having their hands in all different types of businesses, and so those are the great things that the Business Academy allows you to do, because I will sit with them, and not only but I'll have them present their ideas and pitch their ideas to their fellow classmates, and then their classmates have that opportunity to provide feedback, where we could go from here, how can we help you, because it's not at that profitable competition level yet. So everybody is going to have a chance to say something, and through the academy, they all have to create a separate business that they would actually want to open when they get out of high school.
Okay, all right. So Jenna, it's very important for students to be able to give back to their community. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So do you all volunteer, or do you do any volunteer work in your community, whether it's on campus or off campus?
Where do I begin? Personally, I do work with my old middle school. I worked with one of the teachers that I truly admired. Her name is Jennifer Tremblay. I enjoy working with the kids. I work especially with special needs kids. We've done packing boxes at the Treasure Coast Food Bank. We've done walking for the breast cancer walk. The list just goes on.
Okay, so what do you think, Ms. Choppa?
Sure.
Do you want to add to that?
Volunteer opportunities? Oh, we have done volunteer opportunities. We've done the Children's Museum during the holidays. We have worked with Castle and done galas. The kids have planned and promoted nonprofit organizations, startups, their kickoffs. We have opened up many businesses. So the goal for me is to have students, everyone that is in International Business Academy, when you graduate, you have minimum of 100 hours. I have some students that have 300 volunteer hours, 400 volunteer hours. It really just depends, again, on the student and what their passions are and likes, and to get your feet wet, get out there and do something. When you look back on high school and your future employers, when they look back, they're going to be asking, what did you do? Did you go home? Did you play Fortnite and Xbox and all that stuff? Or did you actually go and make a difference in your community? Because those are the kids that we want on our college campuses. Those are the kids, those shakers, those movers, those young entrepreneurs that we want in our everyday American life. And on a global perspective, we want those people to go out and move and shake the world.
Okay, thank you. So as we prepare to close, can you share with us one last time, what are the main benefits for international business at the high school level? And then also, why is it so vital to our community in St. Lucie County to have international business?
I think that the reason international business is so important is because it takes individuals and it puts them in an organization that allows them to flourish. I think that they celebrate and understand their differences and can truly embrace themselves, and it creates that foundation for them to build on for the rest of their life, whatever it is. And through good, through bad, they'll always have a place to come back to, and they'll always have those networking opportunities. I think that's the true basis of international business. And I think the reason it's so important is because as St. Lucie County starts to build, we need to keep those young entrepreneurs. We need to keep those businesses and organizations open. And at a young level, these students understand this business needs to stay open so all of us can prosper. And I think not only letting them go and flourish and be on a global platform, but also bringing them back home to St. Lucie County, because it's a fantastic community. I chose to live here. So it's a fantastic community that they need to bring all their experiences, bring them back home, and start some of those global businesses that they want to have right here.
Okay, so you all are actually closing the skills gap, bringing students into the workforce.
Correct.
Bringing them back into our county to
Correct.
actually work here, right?
Yes.
And then not only that, but when they leave the academy, they have how many college credits again?
9.
9 college credits?
But they can earn up to 18.
18 credits.
Right.
Wow. Okay. I'm Lanisha Robinson, and this is Career and Technical Education, #Build a Future. That's all for this show, but we invite you to view our St. Lucie Public Schools Career and Technical Education page. Career and Technical Education is building career pathways, which are pipelines for all of our students. We are building a future and continuing to close the skills gap. On behalf of the station's team, I'd like to thank you for joining us today.